The first time I saw Tash, I knew as instinctively as I know the corner and shape of my soul that I wanted her to crush my head in between their powerful, powerful thighs. Yes, this is the Tash video. No, it's not going to be all about the thirst. And yes, it will most certainly have been worth the wait. About 2 weeks ago, in celebration of the upcoming release of Dragon Age the Veilguard, which, get this, is getting released in exactly 9 days from now. We're in the single digits, folks. Can you imagine? Can you fathom that we would actually get to this point? Your girl is giddy. But as I was saying, 2 weeks ago, I started this video series where I went through each of the Dragon Age the Veilguard companions, analyzing their characterization to see if they would be a good romantic fit for your rook or whatever story you're crafting. And I did all of this without any spoilers because, like a lot of you all watching this video right now, I haven't played Dragon Age the Veilguard yet, so I'm just working blind off of my interpretation and understanding of these characters. And you all have enjoyed the series so far, which has made my day and made me so happy, so thank you. So far, we've done Emric Volcaren, Belara Luther, Lucanus de la Morte, Davrin, Nev Gallus, and now Tash. If you'd like to see how I have analyzed what we've gotten of the companions I have mentioned so far, do check out the playlist Veilguard Romances. Now, before I dive into the video proper, hello, I'm Noria, and just in case you didn't guess, I like to talk about characters and themes and stories across various mediums: movies, TV shows, books, anime, and video games. If that sounds like your jam, do check out some of my other videos. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit subscribe. In addition, if you would like to watch my Dragon Age the Veilguard playthrough, which I will be officially kicking off on the 31st, or earlier if BioWare deigns to release that CC early. Although at this point I am not holding my breath. But yes, if you would like to watch my playthrough where I intend to share my unfiltered thoughts and hopefully joy and glee as I dive into the game, then consider subscribing to my second channel, PS It's Noria, where I will be dropping all my gameplay videos. The link to it is in the description box. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk Tash. Starting with the very first thing I think of when I consider her romance. If you're someone who loves characters that are pretty straightforward, that will tell you how things are and where you stand with them, no beating around the bush, no wasting your time, then Tash is the romance pick for you. Now, heads up, I tend to use she, they pronouns for Tash. It's a personal thing for me, as I've always thought that she would be okay with both. So that's what I've always used for them in my head. So yeah, this video will be me using both pronouns interchangeably for her, just a heads up. But as I was saying about Tash, if you're someone who appreciates that in a character, in a love interest, then she's the perfect fit for you. Because sometimes, even in real life, especially in real life, you just want someone who will come correct. No games, no saying things that they don't want or mean, no trying to get you to read their minds like you've got some sort of superpowers, and then they get upset because they just wouldn't communicate in the first place. And you're there, left confused, wondering how on earth they expected you to know these things in the first place if they wouldn't bloody speak. Did I just go on a mini rant because I have been in this situation before in real life? Yes. Does this therefore make me appreciate and love Tash's no nonsense, let's not bullshit and just cut straight to the chase persona even more? Yes. Yes, it does. Gods, I love them so much. If you like characters who love to live on the edge, courting danger and death with a laugh and a smile, even as they throw themselves wholeheartedly into it for the thrill, for the fun, then please consider romancing Tash. I think having her be a Kunari Lord of Fortune who loves hunting dragons is a deathly combo that the writers of BioWare, namely Trick Wicks, crafted to particularly unravel me in the most delicious of ways. Because there's something about characters like Tosh and their love and desire for danger that just makes you feel even more alive. It's electrifying. I'm most likely going to be a roller coaster of a romance, but you know what? Some of us like the speed, the chase, the rush, the hunt. If that is you, if everything I'm saying right now has you smiling or nodding or reconsidering, then yes, I am doing quite a good job, and I would therefore say do consider romancing Tash. Corinne already told us that she believes that the steamiest romance in Dragon Age the Veilguard is most certainly Tash's. And you know what? I am not in any way surprised. She's a dragon hunting, fortune seeking pirate. Of course, we're in for the steamiest of times. And I don't know about you, but this girl is sat. Also, if you love non male characters who take up space in the world, who man spread like it's no one's business and are unapologetic about how they just exist and who they are, then Tash is a great pick for you. Because I love Iron Bull. I adored him and the romance we got with him in Inquisition. But there's something about having a character who is certainly not male go through the world of Thedas with the cocky confidence that one would usually assign to a man, whilst they aren't a man. Like, that is something that I really enjoy seeing in a person, in a character I get to romance. That duality, that dichotomy, that thumbing their nose at the expected social graces, I live for it. Now, if you love the character archetype of the survivor, you know, someone you can bank on and count on to pull through whatever life might throw at them, then I do think Tash might be the romance pick for you. And there is something I find comforting about that realization. That no matter what might be tossed their way, they will pull through on the other side. And like, look at her. Look at Tash. That is someone who knows what she's capable of, whose brains and brawn have gotten them out of many a conundrum, and so is assured that when it comes to it, when we get to the brass tacks of survival, they are coming out swinging. If that gets you, if that has you absolutely delighted and charmed, then consider romancing Tash. Because sometimes you just want a partner who you know has your back and is going to survive whatever hell might be raining down on you all and pull you out right alongside them. To take things further, I have mentioned in previous videos about how some of the romances with our companions have the potential to heal our inner child or hurts we might have had no idea we carried with us. From Emmerich to Bellara to Lucanus to Nev. With Tash, I think if you're someone as a child who felt invisible, maybe you always disappeared, you were a child who was often ignored, sometimes neglected, or maybe you realized that you're queer and you had to deal with a world that seemed to want to break you. The thing about having to romance a character like Tash, someone who is so sure in who they are, who survives and keeps surviving and has built themselves to be practically unbreakable, someone who is very not straight, is that knowing that there is someone like that in our corner who sees us and loves us and bolsters us is healing. Who didn't want an unbreakable protector who saw them, chose them, and wanted only them when we were that kid? I know I did. And that's why I cannot wait to romance Tash. And then create a Kunari that is basically them. So I can also be unbreakable as well. Like, tell me I'm not the only person who thought that. And finally, if you like characters who are loyal to a fault, who will stick with you and by you no matter what, then Tash is the romance for you. Because, see, a part of me is still smarting at the fact that we still haven't gotten the chance to see much of Tash. Of all the companions, they've been the most coded. They've had no appearance in any of the books we've gotten so far, and they didn't show up in the comics. But we did get them in the Vows and Vengeance podcast, and although we know that we can't take what happens in there as absolute gospel, since the podcast wasn't actually written by the actual writers of the game, but I would work with the assumption that they had to get the green light for the core representation of the companions as they are portrayed, as I doubt if BioWare would be willing for the companions to be utterly butchered in any way. Which means that the Tash we heard in the podcast, who is very good friends with Nadia, who made it to Ravine with her friend and was willing to go to battle and wanted to join her in Antiva. The Tash who Nadia had to beg to go her own separate way, and who parted ways with her friend very reluctantly, is the Tash we're going to get in the game. And let me tell you, the two things that had me sworn in Tash's appearance was how she said she was going to handle the bounty hunters in 5 minutes, and did, and how loyal she was. She's the only companion who spent a significant amount of time in the episode after hers, following Nadia and Drayden for quite some time before she had to part ways with them. Second is Lucanis, but Tash is number one. Just in case you all couldn't tell, see the way I'm locked in for Emmerich's romance as my first? Tash is my unshakable, unbreakable romance come my second playthrough. I cannot wait to get my teeth on their romance. And yes, I think Tash would appreciate the grip. But tell me, what about you? Do you have any plans to romance Tash, even if it's not in your first playthrough? Let me know in the comments. I'm nosy and curious and want to know. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you didn't, feel free to hit the dislike button as well. Either way works perfectly well for me, and I'm just happy and grateful that there are people who watch this long. And speaking of waiting for long, Lace Hardin's video is going to be my very last one in this series, and I cannot wait to talk to you all about my baby girl. But back to, if you enjoyed this video, please do consider sharing it. It helps my content reach a wider audience, and who knows, they might like my corner of the internet. This in turn helps my channel grow and is incredibly supportive of my content. Speaking of support, a huge thank you to my patrons who are more than instrumental in helping me keep the lights on. Thank you all so much for your support. If you would like to support me on Patreon as well and can afford to do so, the link to it is in the description box. I make new videos 3 times a week: Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Whilst you wait for new content from me, do check out my Veilguard Romances playlist so you can hear my thoughts on the other companions. Or you can just check out my other Dragon Age videos. Either works actually. Until next time, do remember, obsessing over the things you love, perfectly valid coping mechanism.